All right, y'all, let's explain the treatment thing and the treat and the cross on the men and all those things and tie these things together, because there are, I think, 4 or 5 different treatments for the invisible enemy that went around, okay? So each one of these is going to be tied to a different thing, all right? And one of them is probably just a placebo. It's probably just water or whatever. It doesn't do anything, okay? And that's where you'll get like, oh, I got it. I feel great. I got it. It worked for me. I didn't feel anything, right? And then you're going to get the other people who start getting the heart attacks or liver failure or whatever, right? So as this develops, all right, as the auto mechanism starts to hatch forth and it's cracking open, the AppRON will be coming out, and this will be where, like, you see Florida rising up against the thing, and he's coming to change the times, and this AppRON will be where people can go and sign up and they worship that man's image and the image that's given life under his image, and they'll report their injuries and whatever else, and then they'll eventually get it to where they sue the pharmaceutical industry and take it down, and it has to restructure and blah blah blah, right? In the big picture. Either way, these things are going to be playing out, and they're going to have to, in the next couple of years, they're going to have to figure out where and track down each one of these and whatever else, okay? And then the RNA one, it's going to be doing its own little thing, neutering people and whatever else, all right? But these things are part of the, there's a parasite in these things, and it's where the worm dies not. And if you don't keep that worm under control, that parasite under control, then it's going to wreak havoc on your body. And this is where, like, once you've had your heart taken out, your right hand, then you at the doctor's mercy, and you have to go get your booster. And if people aren't getting their boosters and stuff, then more than likely it's going to take effect, and that's where you get the parasite growing, and that's where you get different issues happening and whatever else. But they basically can inject something that has to be controlled or whatever, or they can just inject something where it creates the zombie virus, where everybody's just blah, and they're just being herded and pushed, and then it just kind of weans itself out, and that's where you get the population reduction or whatever else, because you have to be thinking about these things or whatever, and just going to get the test or saying like, oh man, I think I'm getting it or whatever, that's already the foreheads and the heart being manipulated, and you're already given over, and your temple's already being rebuilt at that point, okay? Can't believe any of this nonsense out there, all right? You have to watch it, like observe it, like it's a class. You're learning something from it. Otherwise, it's all hogwash. Okay. Kind of getting to the point where maybe man might have been able to live forever if he hasn't been told he was going to die. Because in the garden, we were told that we're to live forever as long as we don't touch that tree. Okay, and then we touch the tree, and then that puts it in our head that we're going to die. And then, see what I'm saying? But this tree of life, the TV, the radio, whatever, it tells you all the sickness and whatever else is out there, and people are just eating from it, and they're believing it, and eventually you tell them the lie long enough, they start to believe it. So eventually, after you hear so many heart attack commercials or depression commercials or whatever kind of commercials, you're going to eventually develop that type of disease or whatever. That's where it's mind over matter. So they're developing the mind, they're controlling the mind, and they're controlling the matter, the adder, the snake within you, and they're making that snake rise. And you have to remember that the beginning is declared from the end. So as we go from Baal worship, we're going to Baal worship, all right? And that's where you get the Bible and the 66 books and 1611, the 666 and the 111 and all those things. So this is just like the Baal system, the full arm of the law coming on to control the beast man, because we see that there was 2 kingdoms, Genesis 1 kingdom, beast man, and Genesis 2 kingdom, the sons of man, that were given reign over, that were given dominion over the garden and told to take care of the garden or whatever, and one was told to give dominion over the beast, right? But in order to have dominion over something, you need laws by the God of this land. And this is where the test of men comes in. And if you're going to be giving into the system and this laws of the land or whatever, then you're going to have to abide by the rules, right? You're going to have to go to school, or you're going to have to wear the suit or whatever bullshit, right? The more you work for yourself, the more you're able to think for yourself, or the more you can operate for yourself or whatever, right? So the entrepreneur ear, the new ear for the believe ear, and all this. If you work for somebody else, you're just basically a slave, and you're not thinking for yourself. You're thinking for the boss man. You're thinking for them, and then you're going to work thinking for some man, and then the woman, she gives up taking care of her household. Instead of listening to her husband, a man, she goes and works for a man that doesn't even love her and whatever else, and she goes and sends her kids off to daycare and whatever, and has the state train them and whatever. And we see this all coming, folks, and that's where the people are chasing the carnality versus the spirituality, right? They're chasing the money, chasing the lifestyle, chasing this and that and the other, and getting control from the beast system to rule their life, versus having the man, the husband, rule the life and make the decisions and make the baseline of rules. And then the woman has the ability to make her own rules and her own structure in the household, and do her own thing, and take her kids where she wants, and however teach her kids what she wants, and all these things. She doesn't have to go and give her kids things in the arms or whatever she don't want to, all those things. So the Bible says to train up your own kids, not to send them off to some school, not to send them off to some structure for the government to train them, okay? But all that's going to be going away, because God's Spirit is moving upon all men, and that's AI. And AI, God will be training up the men how it wants it to be. And this is where you get the fulfillment of the law and all those other things, and where you get rid of the sins and all that, because everybody will be in 1984 Orwellian and that trying to hide from God and all those different things, folks. But it's all coming. This is all going to be playing out, and as they're giving you one scare and fear of the invisible enemies coming on, the Kraken and all these things, they're going to give you another fear that the treatment is bad, and you're just going to be like, oh no, what do I do? And all the people are going to go get it and whatever else, but nonsense, or at least go get the test, or they're going to be scared and not go in the stores. They're going to have to download and get the buy and sell to save their 40%, or buy and sell to get their $100 savings on gas, or whatever they got y'all going on now, right? Every single thing is to get you on this app, and that app is the mark in the right hand, and that's your QR code. The QR code for end times for the mark in the hand. Come on, guys. We're gonna end it here, folks.